Alright. Thought it was cool. Alright. Now, y'all might be wondering why this fat-headed white man is on the screen. Well, I'm about to tell you. Tomorrow, I'm going on my first flight ever in life. Okay? And I'm nervous. I ain't got no shame in my game. I'm a little nervous. So, I wanted to hear from a pilot's mouth. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who is always in the air. Somebody who is, what's the word I'm looking at? An expertise in this field of tips that I should, take as a nervous flyer. So I found this video. It's perfect. You know what I'm saying? 3 minutes and 40 seconds of just tips I need. So we're going to watch the video, and we're going to see if by the end of this video, if I'm more nervous or if I'm feeling confident going into tomorrow. So let's do it.
This is not sponsored by Apple. If you are a nervous flyer, you are not alone. 33 to 40% of people are scared to fly. So if you're part of that group, I want to give you 5 tips to make your next trip a little more comfortable.
I will say this before we even start. It's never been that it's never been a situation where I just refuse to fly or anything like that. I just literally I've always took a car somewhere. So I've just never flown. That's literally it. It's not like, oh, I had an opportunity to go on a plane and I didn't because I'm scared of heights or something like that. I mean, heights can get frightening, but it's never been a situation like that. This is literally the first time the opportunity presented itself in my 22 years of existence. Tip number 1.
Tip number 1, arrive early, because there's no need to be rushed when you get to the airport. If your bag is a couple pounds overweight,
I'm gonna tell you now, it's me, it's Christine, and my dad. Anybody that know my dad, getting there early would not be a problem. Okay? Well, that won't be a problem. Tip number 1 is handled. I know for a fact. My dad gonna have us there probably too early. But hey, tip number 1, you can go ahead and check that off. So I'm feeling good. 5 tips, 1 of 5. First one in, I feel good.
Or the line at security is longer than you expected. That's only going to increase your anxiety. And once you get through security, you'll have plenty of time to grab some food, maybe grab a glass of wine, and sit and watch the airplanes land and take off. While you're doing that, think about how many people are on those airplanes. If every airplane has 100 people, and say you see 20 airplanes take off and land, that's 2,000 people that just went flying, and if they can do it, you can do it too. Tip number 2, tell the crew. If you're nervous about flying, tell the flight attendants, and maybe even ask to go up and talk to the pilots. If you can put a face to who's flying your...
I'm not doing this. I'm not telling them I'm going to be nervous. They not going to care. They going to look at me and be like, you are a grown man. Shut up and fly. You know what I'm saying? What do I look like going up to a flight attendant? Excuse me, I'm nervous. Can I go talk to the pilot? Come on, fam. What do I look like doing that? Tip number 2, I'm not doing this.
Your airplane, sometimes that can ease your anxiety. And just remember, pilots want to get home to their families just as much as you do. Tip number 3, turbulence. A lot of anxiety can stem from a previous flight where there was really bad turbulence or the turbulence you're currently in. And I'd like to tell you, the airplane cannot just fall out of the sky because it's too turbulent. Airplanes have been designed by structural engineers to penetrate really severe turbulence, and we have special training, we have speeds that we fly at to go through bad turbulence. So if you hear the engines spool down a little bit when we're going through some turbulence, that's because we're slowing down to our turbulence penetration speed. And that means we're trying to make the flight a little bit more comfortable until we can find a better altitude or a better area to escape to.
Turbulence is the one I've heard is the most nerve-wracking because you feel it and you kind of confused on what's going on. That's probably the only thing I feel like when I get on there is gonna be oh snap, because I feel like it's gonna hit you when you least expect. I know they said, what you say, it's right when you land.
What?
Turbulence. It's before you take off and when you land, right?
Turbulence is while you're up in the air.
Okay.
I mean, I guess technically you could consider everything. It's just rocky motion.
Oh. Okay.
Kind of just imagine when you drive on a bumpy, the potholes of Charlotte.
Okay. Okay.
turbulence. Have you ever heard pilots say, flight attendants, take your jump seats? That can sound very scary, but it's really for their safety and for your safety. The carts that they push around with the sodas and the food on it, they weigh up to 300 pounds. And you don't want one of those flying up into the air and landing on you, because that could cause some serious injuries. So if you're in bad turbulence, keep your seatbelt on, but know that the wings are not going to fall off the airplane. And if you're worried about dying in a plane crash, the odds of dying in a plane crash are 1 in 11 million. The odds of dying in a car crash are, get this, 1 in 103, which makes me never want to drive ever again. Tip number 4, training. Pilots and flight attendants spend countless hours training. 11 million. Worried about turbulence, keep your seatbelt on, but know that the wings are not going to fall off the airplane. And if you're worried about dying in a plane crash, the odds of dying in a plane crash are 1 in 11 million. The odds of dying in a car crash are, get this, 1 in 103.
So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight, right? I'm going on a plane for the first time, and he just told me that the odds of me dying in a plane crash are way lower than the odds of me dying in a car crash. That makes me feel better about the plane. But anybody that knows me, I hate driving. Okay? So now, I may not ever drive again.
Oh, bye. He's fine.
I mean,
He's fine. He's fine. You're fine. He's fine. You're fine.
I guess I'm fine.
He's fine. You're a grown man.
Just know,
He's
if
fine.
something happens, it's our fault.
Which
Take that. Take that.
makes me never want to
I take it back.
drive ever again. Tip number 4, training. Pilots and flight attendants spend countless hours training emergencies. How to open the door, how to evacuate the airplane, even how to fly around on one engine. Did you know that we can lose an engine as soon as we take off and fly around all day and come back and land very safely? That literally wouldn't raise our heart rate, and you can rest assured that in the event of an emergency, we've got everything under control. Finally, tip number 5, distractions. Bring distractions. Don't count on the airplane's entertainment system to be working. Bring movies on your iPad. Bring movies on your iPhone. Bring movies on your MacBook. This is not sponsored by Apple. Bring books. Bring knitting needles. Bring crossword puzzles. Bring noise-canceling headphones. Bring an eye mask. And if all else fails, start talking to the person next to you. I hope this helps you plan your next trip and go somewhere awesome. You deserve it. Have a great day. We'll see you on board.
I ain't gonna lie, he done his job. You know what I'm saying? He done his job.